Welcome to the new Overlords Podcast. I'm Max, and this is a video game show. I'm joined every week by next year's Gamescom MC. It's Sema. Hello there, Sema.
The idea of me doing that is so funny. I would be so terrible at it. However,
well, yeah,
I might be better than Jeff Keighley.
There we go. Exactly. No,
I
don't think anyone would argue that one bit. Not that Jeff's that bad.
I do not begrudge him his success, but oh my gosh, it's kind of cringe.
Yeah, come on.
Like by now, yeah.
Well,
yeah. Maybe they're limited in what they can say. Maybe they have a contract that says I can only say inane things about these games because, whatever.
Because all of those people are their paying customers. You have to pay to get your trailer up there, so you can't make fun of them, or you can't say, I mean, you're obliged to say that was amazing, great, can't wait to see what's coming next from Janky Blank, the developers of Derps in space.
I mean, I just feel like
me to say this.
I just feel like you could do that in a more natural way, and you could use maybe different words. Like it wouldn't have to be amazing and or beautiful every time.
You know what I thought of? My shower thought on this whole subject was they should have just got John Ralphio to do the whole deal, right? Because he did it very well for the things he did it for. Just bring him up on stage and have him do the whole thing.
Yeah, Ben Schwartz. Actually, that's a great idea. Get a professional to do it.
Yes. Yeah, but
a person who's trained at
working a crowd, at hosting,
being
something.
Natural on a And I always feel bad for the devs who never get up in front of people or hardly ever, and they try to do that. Is everybody excited? And the crowd's like, maybe, don't know.
Excited about what? You haven't really showed us anything yet.
Right.
Hello, fellow gamers. I've not been up in front of a giant audience with lights shining in my face enough times to be comfortable.
Some of these guys, they're like legends.
I know. Yeah,
and
yeah.
They're
do.
They're like superhumans. Yes. So I'm not saying they're not good people or whatever, but it's just my heart goes out to them when they try that.
They're just
and
out
Holly
of their
Longdale,
element.
I mean, oh my God, I'm sure she does great things for WoW, but again, she's also pretty cringy.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people on the Blizzard staff that are better in front of people.
Yeah. Yeah, even there though, it's very hard to be that and do that. So
yeah, it is. I'm not saying I could do it for sure.
Right. So obviously, as everyone can tell out there, we're going to be talking about Gamescom. That is a thing that did happen and is currently happening. So we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about mostly the kickoff last night and what we saw and a couple of key highlights that we were interested in. So look forward to that coming soon. But first, a couple other things in the news.
Good news, everyone!
First up in the news, I did get my eye caught by something relevant to my interest, though not my interest in the last 2 weeks, because I've not been playing it. I kind of fell off of Dune Awakening. They did, however, a few days ago, launched a roadmap. So we like roadmaps as fans of anything. Fans like roadmaps. So they published a roadmap that showed kind of their plans for chapters of content. And it looks reasonable. It looks like a reasonable approach. So what they'd like to do is have a series of chapter updates, which are story content and things like that. And then along with that, they also have a planned, sort of in parallel, a set of DLC updates. And the DLC updates will be more like cosmetic stuff and, extra bits added on. So it sounds like they're going to put the core game elements and story in the free update that everyone gets. And then the DLC updates will have the extra things. So the big one that's scheduled in the September timeframe coming next month is Chapter 2 of the story. The main story continues, and that's going to have more of the story that we got so far at the launch of the game did come sort of to an end, and it was now you got to wait around to see what clues come up next in sort of your mission to awaken the sleeper and just find the Fremen. You haven't finished that yet. That was the opening mission that the Bene Gesserit sent you on in the opening cutscenes, and you're not done with that. So a little bit more, at least Chapter 2 of that story is still coming. But a few other things. New deep desert layouts, which they could really use, in my opinion, because they're boring right now. Again, in my opinion, because I'm not a PvPer. And then another thing that we see across so many games, quote unquote, dynamic encounters. They do have kind of a couple dynamic encounters that happen naturally across the game right now. One of them is, you could see it coming, but there's the SWTOR patrol ships. And they only happen like in the earlier parts of the map, like the early game parts of the map, like the northern part of the map, they don't fly around there for some reason. And in the deep desert, they don't fly around. But what they do in a really cool way in the southern parts of the map is when it becomes night, they are flying around and they have these giant spotlights on the ground. And if you get caught in a spotlight, they'll throw a like a stasis grenade at you. You'll get caught in it, and then rappelling down from the ship will be mercenaries. And they're not Sardaukar, they're actually Chom mercenaries. But the Chom mercenaries will come down and they'll attack you because they're trying to take you out. Because obviously you're slinking around in the desert at night. You must be a bad person. And you can fight them, you can run away from them, you can do whatever you want to do. But I kind of liked it. It was a nice kind of bit of additional peril, although not very perilous, but it made the world seem kind of alive. More dynamic encounters like that, I think that makes the world seem active and alive, so that's cool. And then as part of that September update for the DLC part of it is going to be, and I think I even have some video of it here, is going to be cosmetics, in fact, including... So there's story stuff in the main thing, but character recustomization. So they're going to have additional armor sets that I think are going to be limited to the DLC, so you got to pay for those. If you got the deluxe edition, you get at least one of the DLCs free anyway. And then there's another vehicle. They're going to show it. They show it here. Or did they show it in the beginning? It's the big wheel keeps on turning vehicle. It's these roller... You can see it in the corner of the screen here, and you can see videos of it elsewhere. But it's these big roller wheel vehicles. And the way that they described them is those wheeled vehicles are basically cosmetic skins for existing vehicles. So if you don't buy the DLC, it's not like you're missing out on something. It's basically just a different model of a sand speeder, which you can get other kind of sand speeders in the game. So cool. I think that's a fine way to handle it. A bunch of nice free updates for everybody, and then some cosmetics and extra special updates for the people that want to pay a little bit extra, because that's their monetization model. There's no battle pass to buy. There's just these DLC updates to buy. There's no cosmetics shop where you're paying money, and there's no subscription fee. So they got to monetize their server infrastructure somehow. Does this giant wheel make you interested in jumping into Dune? You'll probably get into the story, at least if I'm sure if you were in there. Although you said you're not a big Dune story fan, old school super fan anyway, so you probably don't care where the Fremen are. Sema, you there, Sema?
Yeah, I am here. I was sorry about that. What I was saying was I do like that mount. I'd like to have that in other games.
We kind of have
even
one.
Though
we do have one of those in Star Wars, a single wheel version of it.
We have multiple versions of it, yeah, but I like that double wheel, and I like the chunky tire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yes, I'm not a fan. Like I said, I was not a fan of the story when I read the books, so that I never got drawn into watching the movies or playing the game. So there I go.
yeah.
I don't. That is just me.
That is that. We'll get you in there once they have more story and PvE things to do. But right now with like the PvP, so PvP even in the deep desert, it hasn't all been anything to even keep me all that connected. Still have my, you got to pay taxes and you have to power your generator. So I still have to log in like once every 2 weeks at a minimum. So I'm still doing that. I haven't like let my base decay, but I haven't been playing very much besides that. A game I have been playing, Sema, Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yep.
What do we got going on in there? You wanna lead us in this discussion?
Oh
And
yeah.
then I'll
So
show off my favorite things.
this week, we had a content update and the beginning of Galactic Seasons 9, which we've been looking forward to, because that usually gives us some good activities to do as a guild. So that started this week, and the focus of Galactic Seasons this time, which is sort of Star Wars: The Old Republic's form of a battle pass. I mean, you could pay to progress through it, but you could also just play the game and progress through it, which is what we tend to do. And so it has a lot of cool looking rewards. I'm kind of in love with some of the mounts, and I like the first armor set too, because one of the best things they did in Star Wars: The Old Republic in recent years is they figured out how to make pants look like pants instead of tights.
Yeah, or paint on your skin. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so not every pair of pants has to be super baggy to show that they can do that. And these pants are not baggy, but they have, normal wrinkles here and there like you would with normal fabric, which I like.
Yeah, texture on the fabric. Yeah, they've really gotten good with the textures, and this is an upgrade over when the game launched for sure in a lot of the new materials and textures and models that they've created since then. And this really shows it off. I mean, you can see like every thread on the jacket and that kind of thing, and the stitching on the boots, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I do like that outfit. I probably will end up using that. It's very sort of scoundrelly to me. It's like a mix of scoundrelly and agenty, because it's got that sort of that inset across the shoulders that kind of looks like but isn't epaulets. But
right.
Yeah,
it's modeled after some stuff out of Andor Season 2.
Yeah,
which is cool. It's called the Commandant's armor, and then there's two Ascendant Admiral's armor is basically a different colored version of the same kind of thing, a little bit different on the stitching and stuff. Is that like how many bars? Is this something I'm going to lose a Star Wars trivia contest over? There's 5 bars on that. No, there's 5 bars on this one too. But that one's 5 bars plus the red thing underneath. Is that like an admiral versus a commandant? Or they
she must be like a super commandant.
Yeah, commandant plus. New commandant plus. That's what she is. These mounts you like? These Verdier Lux line mounts?
That one that looks like an X-Acto knife in a way. I kind of like that.
Little folded up pocket knife, little.
Yeah.
Is that the one, or you like this one with the little wings that pop out?
No, I like the little lime green one. That was
you like the
that.
tiny ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably like it the most if it goes ring.
Yeah. If it's annoying, I like it better. That's a plus.
Everybody mounts and dismounts over and over just so that they can make their cicada mounts chirp. Hilarious.
Yep. And there's also another color of this one that is just more of like a gray color, which is cool also.
Now, my favorite thing out of the rewards is the robots. So there's 2 droid companions that you can get, which are this probe droid and the agricultural droid, just little ones that will follow you around. But again, their textures are so good. They're doing such a good job. I really like it. So I like this little agriculture bot. It's really beat up and crufty.
So these two droids too, since one is, in the air and one is on the ground, you could probably have them out at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point. And what is the end? So if you complete all of the objectives and all of the meta objectives, which means you do like 100 of the objectives and everything, there's a reward for the meta achievement. And that one, I got to scroll all the way down to the bottom for that, is a droid skin for our favorite in-game droid, T7, right? Where is it? Wall vines. Oh, there's this gantry. I like the ship gantry decoration for your stronghold. Let's go down to T7 because it just made me think you could have both of those pet droids out and T7 out as a companion and have 3 droids following you around.
You could.
T7, where are you? And again, it's a rugged customization for T7.
I do like T7's personality, so I might go with that.
Yeah, he's a little astromech. We like the astromechs, of course, because they're useful. So the deal with this season, the main activity that they're promoting and is going to be a key objective every week is flashpoints. So what do you think of that, Sema?
Well, I'm cautiously optimistic about it because while I'm not a fan of flashpoints, I'm really not a fan of uprisings. And the team kind of turned me around on that last time. We had a lot of fun doing uprisings. So I'm hoping to repeat that experience this time around. Sure.
I think that's a fine, positive way to go about looking at it.
And so I don't mind that it's got to be in the group finder because I want to be doing it with 3 other people anyway. So we'll just
with our pals. And you're right. If we do it with our pals, then it's gonna be that's what'll make it fun no matter what we do. We could we could be playing the bang your head against the wall content and it would still be fine and fun, which we do. That's what we do on Thursday nights.
Yep.
They're also adding, so what they're trying to do is spicing these things up, but this is what they did with the uprisings. They introduced this idea of an additional buff that you would get. I didn't find the buffs very dynamic. It wasn't as much of a game changer. It didn't really turn things around all that much. In fact, you barely noticed them for the most part.
Yeah. In fact, all they really were to me was something that we had to make sure we applied so we could move the bar so we could make the meta. It didn't felt like it changed how uprisings work at all. Right.
Yeah, it had a chance of applying a buff or a debuff to enemies, and we had to kill 1,000 enemies with that debuff on them or whatever. That was one of the counters that was going up. Yeah, you're right. So the only reason we were bothering to even press the button was for that. They did add 2 more though to this one. I kind of like the sound of these ones even better. So we'll see if it makes things more interesting.
I totally like the idea of being able to throw the enemies around. That sounds like hella fun.
Yeah, a temporary ability bar that allows you to lift an enemy and throw them into another enemy. And then the other one, which I like even better, as long as it's like really dramatic. I want it to be like really dramatic and explodey and just mow down enemies.
Big effects and
So the second one is this projectile probes. 2 probes will appear by your side and fire projectiles at your enemies.
So my hope is that they started small because they didn't want to overdo, and now they're saying, okay, we can go further.
That's your hope?
Yeah.
Rebellions are built on hope, Sema. So
you and your 19th century references.
Late 19th century. Actually, that one's not. That one is a
no. I know it's
20th
none
century.
None of them are late 19th century.
Or late 20th century. Late 1900s.
Yes.
But that one's a 2000s reference because that's Rogue. Or is it? When did Rogue One come out now? I'm going to get schooled. Every time I think something is in the last 5 years, it was 40 years ago. So I better stop to that. And this also brings in something that we talked about last time, which was if you're joining Flashpoints through the Activity Finder, which is the in-game group finder, and you're queuing in with a group of people, all of the movie cutscenes that are part of the Flashpoint skip themselves, which is so Forster Rogue One came out in 2016. See, that's not too bad. It's 9 years ago.
You're right.
It wasn't like 90, 98. That's going crazy. It's crazy talk. So yeah, it fading to black for the cutscenes. That's because there are other ways. If you're going to play for the story, you're going to play for the story. So you do it story mode, or you go in with a group of friends and you walk in the door and you'll get all the story and you can play through the story parts of it. However, if you're queuing into a group, especially with random people, these are advanced modes of playing this kind of content. It just skips those cutscenes because the reason people are in there is to get it done, get the rewards, not to see the story again for the 50th time. So it's reasonable.
Right.
People are complaining about it, but I think it's their complaints. I think their complaints are unreasonable.
I do too. I feel like they do have two other good options. They don't have to have every option be theirs.
Right. And they can still play it the way they want.
Yeah.
They just can't click the group finder button and force other players who they don't know to play it the way they want.
Right.
So there you go. All right. So this started this week. How many weeks we got? There's probably like a do 100 objective. Is there? I didn't even check. There's probably not a reputation, I hope.
I hope so too. I haven't checked either.
We got to do that. Because we burned ourselves the very first season.
We did. That's exactly right.
Every other season, every other Galactic season, you and I both have completed it, including the final meta achievement, except the very first season, because they had a reputation achievement, and the reputation, you could only gain so much reputation per week. And by the time we realized what was going on, there weren't enough weeks left in the season to get the reputation. We got everything else.
So Stas says there's no rep and it's 250 kills with the new stem. So that's similar to...
So 100 objectives, I'm sure, and 250 kills with the new stem. No problem. Not a problem. Yeah. Barely an inconvenience. We'll get that done. Cool.
The thing that's ironic about season 1 for me, and I think it's for you too, is like I was really proud of the way I was doing it. I was stretching out the rep.
I know. Because there are reasons to...
Yeah.
Except for that weird scenario, there are reasons to like stretch out the rep, because each time you do a rep turn in, you get like once per day and once per week, you get special bonuses for doing a rep, advancing in reputation. So you're right.
And if anyone had asked me at the time, I would say, yes, yes, exactly. If anyone would have asked me at the time, and when I went back and looked at it, it very clearly says.
It did.
It wasn't like some mysterious secret that.
But it was different than the way any other rep had worked before.
Yeah.
In the cap, the most you could get per week, they dropped it down. It used to be like 15,000 or 20,000 per week you could get, and they dropped it way down to 5.
But it did teach us a lesson, because like you just said, we should check right now this week. So we learned a lesson.
Well, Stask just updated us in the chat room here live, so we are good to go.
18 Flashpoint Frenzy objectives, whatever that is.
We are hot to go, Sema.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. On a frenzy.
Coming soon is some stuff. We'll just mention the 2 more things that we had on the... I haven't even looked at the calendar to see if anything else popped up, but coming next week. One next week and one the week after, kind of. So next week we're getting Gears of War Reloaded, which is just a classic, another classic remake. And then the week after that, another classic remake, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Snakes on a Plane, delicious, delicious snake cooking game that Sema explained to us last week.
Right.
So we had...
Tastes like chicken.
You could actually say, I cut it out of the audio, But you could, if you look at our YouTube video for last week's episode, I left it in because I wasn't going to re-upload another video. But I had technical difficulties and I had to do something for a couple minutes. And I said, Sema, all right, okay, you explain Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater while I'm gone. And then I listened to it later. And your explanation of how you have to eat snakes and cook them and eat them. And it's a snake cooking game. I thought that was brilliant. And now I want to play that game. All right. That is all the news that's fit to print for this week. This podcast is brought to you by Garden to Goat, the new game coming from Contemplation Games. Will be hopefully in early access by the end of the year. It will hopefully be in Alpha 2 by next week, and we do have slots available for Alpha 2 testing. We're planning on getting keys out around Wednesday, as long as all of our testing of our builds on Monday and Tuesday go well. I'm doing a bunch of last-minute tweaks and updates and bug fixes. Our whole team is like going crazy on it this week. We're cutting it close by the skin of our teeth. We'll probably start passing out keys next Wednesday. Jump in our Discord, gardenintogoat.com/Discord, and if you want to check it out, and because there's a bunch of new fun things to see beyond what you've seen in the preview videos so far. And then we'll have a wrap-up video, 3 or 4 weeks from now after our alpha testers have gotten in there and seen things. You're going to get to visit the second biome, get a sneak peek on that. You're going to get to almost every animal except one for the oak forest biome is in there, the progression to be able to get through all of them. New animations, new effects, new landscape. It's some cool stuff. But we do need more testers. I think it would be really cool to get a bunch of testers in there. And even if you don't even think like this kind of game is your kind of game, we wouldn't mind some of that feedback too. Better now than the big red thumbs down when we put it out on Steam and get a bunch of mostly negative. This is nothing like the ARPGs that I play. I know, it's not. It's not supposed to be an ARPG. I can't get online to work. I only speak Chinese, and this is not in Chinese. Sorry, I don't speak Chinese either. So help us out and get in there and test and get in our Discord, and we'll get you. It's a Steam key, so it'll show up as the Garden to Goat playtest in Steam if you want to be part of it. This game is not a game. This is a podcast, which is also brought to you by our gaming community that we have a lot of fun with, ai-guild.org. Our SWTOR division, we're talking a lot about SWTOR this week, had a leadership change. We like to pass around the leadership for good reasons, get some new people in there to take the lead. Stask, who's in our chat room right now, thankfully agreed to take on leadership of our SWTOR division. We had a fun night with Stask taking the lead last night. We're all still in there. Still, I was the lead a while back. Corley has been the lead recently. We're all still around, but I really like this idea of passing on the leadership here and there to a gaming group like that. So thank you, Stask. That's really fun. If you would like to check out any of the games that we play, have friends in and are playing games around, it's ai-guild.org to check out that gaming community. And then, of course, this podcast is also brought to you by all of you out there watching, listening, and in the chat room right now. The biggest thing you can do to help out the new Overlords podcast is to spread it around. Tell your friends. When somebody asks you on Reddit, what's a good podcast to listen to, you tell them, that IGN UK podcast is awesome, but also you can listen to the new Overlords podcast. You could say that. That would be great. All right, Sema, we got some new stuff on the menu.
It looks like meat's back on our menu, boys.
No way, God. Finally.
I kind of like the maggoty bread.
I kind of like the maggoty bread as well. Did we get some maggoty bread from Jeff Keighley this week, or did we get meat on our menu, Sema?
Well, we certainly got a lot of trailers. There were a lot of trailers. We were referring to the opening night live show, which was very long.
Which
was me and a lot of my friends were watching it kind of specifically for the midnight reveal, which is a WoW thing. The ceremony had been going for almost 2 hours when they got to that.
As like
So-
pre-show and lead up and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
No, from when it started.
Oh.
It was still going.
Where
It
you-
started at
yeah.
it started at 2 p.m. my time, and it was still going at like almost 4.
I did not watch it live. Is this their, what is the deal with their website? I just tried to go to the Gamescom website and it's doing a crazy, weird, goofy, fun thing.
Goofy fun thing.
Except I can't see anything in it.
So I'll just give you some background. So like Jeff Keighley obviously was the MC. It's his show. He's actually been he's been a big name in also the marketing of shows, and he does the Game Awards, and he makes a lot of things happen. So that's good. And then he had as his MC as an esports caster by the name of Shox, who is he said she was like one of the most famous esports casters in the world, which some esports casters that I've seen are just amazing. It's like, how can they tell what's going on the screen when everything is moving so fast? And they're like good at narrating, and they just make the game more exciting. So I really respect esports casters.
Yeah.
So I was excited to see her. But however, her spiel on stage was a lot like his. It was sort of like they would show a trailer and then she would say, "Oh, wasn't that amazing? It was amazing, so amazing." They did also have a special thing where they had they performed a song from Expedition 33, Clair Obscur.
Yep.
And I thought it was going to be, I don't know why I thought this. I just thought it was going to be an orchestra. But what it turned out to be was this woman who did the vocal part of it. And I think it was the composer who played the guitar. And it was really hauntingly beautiful and a very personal moment. So that was more than worth watching.
Oh, that's good. Maybe I should. I skipped around. I didn't watch the whole thing, of course. So I missed I missed all of the in-between stuff. I was just like watching trailers and watching summaries of the games and that kind of stuff. So little bit of a miss there on my part. I've seen a couple of the live performances of some of the Clair Obscur music, and you go to the Clair Obscur YouTube channel, you can see of some of them, and it's just so good. So I am definitely. So is this the caster? Is this the e-caster? This woman in red here on the right?
No, that's actually one of the people from one of the games. That's not her. No, she was dressed in a.
I was going to see if I recognized her. There's a couple that I recognize, but I don't. Probably not. Yeah, but as you said, so what? Yeah, I mean, or maybe you didn't say yet. Did you say that it was boring?
It was. I have to say, it was kind of boring. Yeah, like there were some high points, but if all you're going to do is serve trailers and then say that's amazing in between.
Right. Trailers that people pay a lot of money to.
Well, I mean, I can watch the trailers on YouTube.
But it's basically commercials because people are paying to get their trailers hosted. It's quality games. I mean,
that's her right there in the glitter
outfit. Her. I've never seen her before in my life.
I have to sort of correct myself because there were a few in betweens where they brought out like a developer or the main leader of a company. But even when those people are out there, they basically said to them, "Gosh, you guys are amazing. Aren't you so amazing?"
Yeah.
And then they who probably are amazing people, but they're not usually public speakers, then they would say, "Oh yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be here."
These lights are kind of bright and they're in my eyes. Thanks. Yeah, no, I get it.
Some of them I would love to see an actual interview with. They're probably fascinating people.
Yeah.
but most of them, just like this guy right here, would be standing next to her or Jeff while they said, "This was so amazing."
Amazing work here. Aren't you proud of what you did? Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. And I'm sure it's hard. And there's limits to what they can do because it is paid content, paid product placement. So they can't like say, whoa, you little, that was looking okay. It looks like you got some work to do there. No, I can't say that.
I think hopefully maybe it's different for the audience because they're at Gamescom. They're there for their own reasons, of which there's like 2 or 3 more days of stuff that are going to happen. It's going to go deeper into some games. They're going to get a chance to play some games on the floor. They can shop on the floor. I have a feeling that just this opening ceremony is just probably not for everybody.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's the most commercial part of it. It's the, it's designed. It's doing what it's designed for, which is, here's a bunch of trailers and here's just a bunch of, things that we're going to show you. And, we're just going to put on this little bit of a show to kick things off. I don't know what else we would really expect. I think it would be more fun if it was a little more curated and not just the, all of the, here's 20 trailers from the studios who paid us the most money. Enjoy. It's as opposed to like, hey, here's some really interesting things that, the media has picked out and me, Jeff Keighley, having an assessment of the industry am excited about. Like an edited, curated thing, I think would be much more interesting to me.
Right.
But
and I would rather like have a lead in to each trailer if I'm going to have content like this, rather than just like, we're all excited to see what's happening with the Call of Duty folks, because if they gave like a little thing like this is different for Call of Duty because blah, 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 blah. And then I can look for that. As it was for me to sit through a 6-minute trailer or however long it was, it felt like it was a half an hour trailer for Call of Duty. That's a slow start.
Yeah. Yeah. And in general, I think a lot of the feedback I saw in general was, saw a couple cool things. Most of it was not all that interesting. People continue to say, oh, it was the worst parts of the feedback are, oh, it was better in the old days. It was better last year. It was better, blah, 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 which I don't think that's necessarily true. That's, anytime it's rose-colored glasses when you're looking back. So also the big games, the really interesting games, and a lot of the just any game announcements, they're all spread out across so many events these days. It's not like E3 and there's only like one big announcement thing or 2 big announcement shows throughout, that happen. And all of the biggest, most interesting games get announced there. Now they're getting announced monthly at Xbox Direct and Sony State of Play and Nintendo Direct and, all of these continuous events throughout the year. We've already had huge announcements, really cool announcements, really cool previews of other games. We can't just have those again here. That would be boring too.
So that's a good point. Like we can get all this information in so many different places. They really need to think about why we would watch them. Like, what's their value?
Yes, that's good question. What's your value add there, Jeff, when you're putting on your Gamescom? And maybe it is the things that are happening there at Gamescom, but not the keynote.
Right.
So then don't have the keynote. Maybe
and
that's
also just lesson learned for me.
But money.
Also,
it's also money.
Is just watch the VOD and fast forward through. Yeah. Because there are some nuggets. Like there were some people that were interesting, and I know we're going to talk about this, but a couple of the people that came up for Fallout Season 2 were interesting. And Forrester was commenting that he found the Batman guy was fun.
Bat guy. I wonder if he likes being called
Batman guy. Right.
Well, I was going to say the Fallout one to the end. Do you want to start there then? So we pulled out a couple things that we wanted to talk about that did catch our eye. You want to start with that? You want to talk about Fallout Season 2? I got to be
So
careful. I got to be really careful.
yes.
You can't play anything these days. What did I get another takedown notice? Not a takedown notice. The way it happens on YouTube, it's like, it's not a copyright strike, but you can't monetize your video because you use this bit of a trailer. This happened to me, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. And it was a 16-year-old, it was 16 seconds of a 16-year-old Warhammer trailer. And that's what got our whole podcast demonetized. Now, we don't monetize anyways. It's not like I really care. I did dispute it just because they need to teach their algorithms better. But I used 16 seconds from a 16-year-old trailer. So I'll try to show a little bit of this, but we could just talk about things. So Fallout, yeah, tell me what you saw, and then I watched the trailer in detail, and that meme of what's his name, Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV. I kept doing that with the trailer when I was seeing things with the Fallout trailer going on. I'm like, oh, don't dude, that's a death claw, Sema. That's a death claw. Did you see the death claw? Yeah. So tell me what you saw on the onstage stuff, and then we can talk about the trailer for 2 seconds.
So, you and I have talked about this before. I have this thing where sometimes the shows that I love the most are the hardest for me to come back and watch a season 2 of. And I was actually questioning whether I would even watch Fallout season 2 because of this malady that I have. But I saw this trailer and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to watch season 2 of Fallout. I mean, it looks every bit as exciting to me as season 1 was.
Yeah.
All the characters that you love or hate are back, including the Ghoul.
Walton Goggins doing his thing again. Both in flashbacks. They showed plenty of footage of him back in flashbacks again.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like it picks right up at the end of season 1, and it almost feels like they filmed it together, and we just had to wait a while, wait a long time for episode 10 or whatever this is.
And Kyle MacLachlan still there.
Yeah.
Ella Purnell, who was the main character, or
yep.
So they kind of showed it in 3. The poster has like 3, so it looks like it's going to be 3 main characters. Ella Purnell's character, Walton Goggins' character, and Maximus.
Maximus.
And actually, he was really adorable. He was one of the ones that came out on stage, and so was she, and they were both adorable. But he was just really adorable. They went to him and asked him some questions, and he just good. That was really good. There was a couple of the writers there. One of them was extremely articulate and really conveyed a notion of what the show's going to be about, and the other one, just I think he was like just light struck because he couldn't even finish a sentence. Yeah. But I mean, all in all, it looks
I'm paid to write, not to talk.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
This right here in the trailer, you're talking about Maximus. There's a little clip where he's like in a cockpit with one of his what are they called, the Iron Brotherhood or whatever, Steel Brotherhood.
Yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel.
Brotherhood of Steel. But he's like smiling. He's got a happy look on his face. I want to watch season 2 just for that. I mean, he was so dour in all of season 1.
Well, on stage, they asked him, does your character get more into the Steel Brotherhood? And he goes, oh, so much more. Just a big grin on his face.
And I also noticed they brought back the chicken fucker. So got that to look forward to.
Oh, that's right. I missed that. Yeah. That's right.
He's in the trailer. And his line, his one line in the trailer is, "Let's get lucky, shall we?" I don't even know what that's about, but all right, okay. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah. So cool. I'm all in on that. Obviously.
And I didn't mind that they included it. Even though it's not a game.
Right. because it is video game related. It does have the pedigree, and it does make me want to go back and play Fallout, the Fallouts and Fallout 76 every time I see.
And if you
Fallout.
and if you needed a connection, they are going to New Las Vegas, so that connects directly to
New
the
Vegas.
game New Las Vegas. Yeah.
Play the New Vegas episode, the interlude episode sequel.
I think it's funny that the one thing that's not a game we've actually talked the most about now.
Yeah. Okay. But that was great. Okay, I picked out a couple things. I do want to hear your take on WoW, but I'll do a couple of mine, and then let's do WoW, and then let's do the couple other ending ones. So my interest was piqued by there was a lot of the trailers were like, hey, here's some DLC coming out. Here's a remake coming out, and here's a new battle pass coming to our existing game, which is fine. That's fine. I mean, all of that stuff has got to get advertised somewhere as well, so I would expect that. One of the ones that was kind of that way was Update 7 for Enshrouded. Now, Enshrouded is still in early access, but I liked the trailer. I liked seeing these updates for Update 7, and it made me remember that I have been following Enshrouded and want to go back and play it, and have been waiting for the preponderance of content to continue to build up, and it has been. There is a lot that's been added to Enshrouded over the course of the past year since I played it originally, and it looks great. And this one they're bringing, it's called Wake of the Water. So they're bringing water into it, and you're going to be able to swim underwater and dive, and a lot of like above the water, like marshy areas and crocodile people. And
yeah, I think the challenge for survival games like this is to differentiate themselves, because the main features of building and collecting are so much of the game.
Yes.
And you don't want to make that part super different, because you want it to be intuitive.
Yeah.
You
and
don't
what
want it
people
to be
expect. Yeah. The same kind of like
right.
language of survival.
And so like Enshrouded to me does look like it's made its place in the world. Like it has a different look. It has a different level of story and different story. Yeah. I see why you're interested in it.
Yeah. As opposed to, and we don't need to get into it too much, but there was this other one, Everwind, and maybe they have something that differentiates them, but it looks like it's just like Minecraft. It's more Minecraft. So it's like a survival adventure, but it's just Minecraft. This is an example that goes the other direction. For some reason, it's too familiar, or we're just going to do another Minecraft, as opposed to Enshrouded, which is such a rich environment, and even the mechanics of how the world works in Enshrouded, it being a voxel-based world, but not a block-based world like Minecraft, just hit differently and look different and feel different. And then the lore and adventure and everything that they wrapped around it. Yeah, you're right. It really sets it apart. So I'm happy to get in there and check it out soon. The other one, and then the second one that I picked out that I liked, both for the presentation of the trailer and then the trailer itself, and then how the meta context of the trailer as well, which is Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2, which Gene Ralphio did all of the presentation.
Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz.
His real name,
I just love calling him Gene Ralphio, because it's like such a
I
good
get
name.
that.
But Ben Schwartz is a good name too. So Ben Schwartz is brilliant. And as we were saying, so Ben Schwartz should have been doing the whole show. He should have been hosting the whole thing, because he's hilarious and he's brilliant, and just the way he presents anything comes across great. And you want to just listen to him present things. So if you're going to need somebody to present things, get somebody who's just funny when they present things. Anyway, he's presenting this whole trailer as if he's an employee and a game developer.
Yeah, he's like the VP of sequels.
The VP of sequels.
Or something like that, yeah.
And then this trailer, short trailer, only a 2-minute trailer, all about, here he is, all about the companions, right? So he's like, this is what you're going to want to see. It's the companions. So they show off like these 5 or 6 looks like 6 companions there, 5 or 6 companions, and they give a little montage of introducing each of the companions. There's the robot companion that hovers around that I want as my companion. And each one of them's got a little bit of personality. They each have a little bit different abilities. They're going to be a fun part of a companion to bring around with you on your RPG adventure in Outer Worlds 2. And then they finish off the video by making the clear point multiple times that you cannot have sex with them. There's no romancing of the companions in this game. Stop it. No companion sex. So
It's just funny the way they toss it off at the end. At the end, it goes, and no, you can't sleep with them.
yeah, I appreciated that again, like the meta fourth wall breaking whole idea of it just came across really well.
I also think they're like saying you're going to enjoy our game, but don't expect Baldur's Gate 3.
Right. True. Yeah, in a little bit of a self-deprecating way, and that's the way to do it, right? Don't take yourself too seriously, and they definitely don't. And obviously, you still have to have a good game to back it up. But yeah, not bad to get ahead of that and say, yeah, we're an RPG, but don't not like the battle. We're not going that far. So just get your expectations in check. You're not going to be romancing the robot that has its main appendage is a sharp blade on an articulated arm. I don't think you'd want to romance it anyway. So yeah, good job there. You did well.
For all the games that have been coming out with only first person or only third person, I appreciate that they're trying to do both.
Right. Oh, that's another thing. Right. So that was a key thing I've been looking forward to. 2 things. That you can do first person or third person. So that's a little bit of a difference. That's a nice addition. I really appreciate that. In fact, some games I like flipping back and forth between the two. I do that in Ark, for example. I think that can be effective. It does make me think. So Garden and a Goat is going to be third person. I don't think we're going to do first person. We just don't have the skills or the resources. You do have to do a bunch of things differently with how the game is designed to present the character's hands. So it's not just like a blank screen the whole time that, you're just like a disembodied window into a different reality. So we're probably not going to be first person health, but I kind of think it would be kind of nice. Would be cool. Because then you can like zoom right in there and get your nose in the dirt from time to time. But then the other thing that I'm really excited about is day 1 Game Pass. So this is Obsidian, and we love Obsidian. Grounded 2, we just played a bunch of that 2 weeks ago, and is just quality stuff coming out of Obsidian. And it's really great to have some of these studios that aren't in a position where they're like, oh, this isn't as good as their last thing. Well, we'll see. I mean, we can't oversell Outer Worlds 2. Who knows? Maybe it'll be mediocre when it actually comes out, but it's looking really good so far. So good job, guys. I'm excited, and I'm excited for Obsidian, and I hope that it is successful because they do great things as well. But day 1 Game Pass, so we're going to be playing it. It'll be fun. We're also going to be playing day 1, I'm sure, World of Warcraft. Tell me a lot at Gamescom, right? With the World of Warcraft stuff?
Yeah, so actually all I really did was there's a little speech by Holly Longdale, who is the CXO or whatever of WoW, and she and then they played the trailer. I don't think they even went back to her afterwards. So it wasn't a lot of info, but after that trailer aired at Gamescom, that flipped some kind of button, and then the internet became filled with the gameplay info for the X-Pack and a lot of information. So we do know a lot more about Midnight because of Gamescom than we did before. So
yeah,
I am looking forward to it. We'll see. I mean, I get like panicky towards the end of an X-Pack because I'm like, am I going to finish everything I need to finish? But that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, yeah.
We're just
I
starting.
quit in the middle and plan on quitting in the middle, so I'm good.
Well, I think we're going to have a nice long tail now because the stuff that dropped recently, which was new dungeon and new raid, I think those are the last before midnight, and midnight is going to be mid-2026. So I don't think we're going to
Really?
run out of. I don't think we're going to run out of time for AOT ahead of the curve this time. So
Oh,
well, we didn't either, but that was what I last time. But that was what I was
I didn't
worried
realize
about.
it's that far away. Okay, that's cool. And they did. I think they said or alluded to that housing might be out sooner. So there
I
might
thought
be
I would thought housing was going to be the end of this year.
right. No, there was even a rumor that the first entry, the first players to play housing, that it could be tied to pre-orders of Midnight. I did hear that rumor in the last week.
I
I don't think that's
think
confirmed, but
well, actually, on the launcher right now, they do have the deals for the.
and does it say you get a first look at housing?
I don't know. Let me look real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, housing early access
Oh,
for
so
pre-purchase. Yeah.
so there you go. Which I think that's going to probably be frustrating to some people, the fact that they're doing it, but all of the, I don't know. I think all the fans who would want to be previewing housing are probably going to be pre-purchasing anyway. This is kind of the way that goes.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not sure that it's going to be a huge advantage. That's only because I don't understand yet how
Yeah.
it's going to be laid out. But yeah, I mean, I'm really into WoW right now, more than in previous years. So I might do the whole Midnight Epic Edition. We'll see.
I'll definitely pre-order for
Well,
sure.
I'll pre-order, but unless there's a pet involved, I usually don't get the more expensive
Boosted
versions.
editions. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a pet, all bets are off.
Right.
$1,000. I'm in. Do it.
Yep, there is a pet. I'm looking at it, and there's two
There you
pets,
go.
and it's only on the highest level. So
Now, when I watched the cinematic trailer, so the cinematic trailer is Xalatath bringing the heat of a void invasion against the Sunwell, and Liadrin and Lurderderp, the two blood elves, are defending it, and it's a problem, and they're not holding up very well. And then Liadrin goes and prays real hard, and something fancy happens, and they save the day. But I got really confused when I watched that trailer because I haven't been keeping up with the lore. So what I thought was the whole Dimensius deal. I thought that was going to be all of Midnight. It was going to be like Dimensius is going to be the big bad of at least the first half of Midnight. You know how there's usually multiple phases even within an expansion. So I thought that was going to be the deal. Is it going to be like the whole like team up with Xalatath and fight Dimensius, and Dimensius is invading and multiple phases of that and pushing back, but no, that's all done. Well, I mean, people might not be through it. I'm spoiling everything, but that's all the current release is what I learned, right, Sema?
yeah, he's the boss of the current raid.
Yeah. So spoiler, if you don't want any spoilers of current content and what you saw in the cinematic, then I guess skip ahead 20 seconds. We're going to talk too long about it. But Dimensius dies. Locust Walker, so Xalatath helps you out for 5 minutes. You defeat Dimensius, and then she turns on you, and she grabs the supercharged Darkheart, and she takes off. And that's what we're seeing in the cinematic is now she's back to being the big bad. She's supercharged. She's Super Saiyan Xalatath now, and she's coming for the Sunwell for whatever reason. Even though she's now like stronger than a Void Lord and super powered, and she also still needs the Sunwell on top of all of that for whatever reason. I actually was a little bit disappointed from a storytelling perspective, because I felt like it was sort of circling back around And it was coming back to the point of almost where we started War Within, which is Xal'atath needs to the Black Blood. Xal'atath needs the Dark Heart. Xal'atath needs, because she wants to take over. She wants to do a thing. And then that evolved. And then she like teamed up with us in the end because there was something worse than her. And now the start of Midnight, it's like back to the beginning. Xal'atath is now wants to destroy everything. And Xal'atath needs the Sunwell this time. And Xal'atath, I almost wished, and I think people had fun with, and you tell me if you had fun with it, but the team up with Xal'atath in her slyness and, you know, her sarcasm and all of that. But the little bit of time of like teaming up with Xal'atath, my feeling was a lot of people got a kick out of that. And I think stretching that through the second, like the middle part of the trilogy could have been interesting. And I was, you know, mildly disappointed that wasn't the direction it was going. Am I off on that? Did you not care about teaming up with Xal'atath yourself?
I don't have the same reaction that you do about like why is she bad again, or why is she not powerful enough again, or whatever, because I feel like I also haven't really kept up on the story, so I feel like when I see that gap I go, oh, there's something there that I don't get because I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, I felt like the cinematic itself was I really liked it, and I felt it was moving, but I don't know the answers to your questions, and maybe one day I will.
Yeah, and that's what remains to be seen. And it's not supposed to tell the story; it's supposed to tease the introduction.
Right, set the stage.
Yeah, it's not the end. It's not even the beginning of the end, but it is the.
I mean,
end
I
of the
don't know if
beginning.
she wants the Sunwell for some reason, or if she just wants to destroy Azeroth. I'm looking forward to Azeroth, and part of the story right now is the planet that Dimensius previously destroyed, which is Koresh, which is where we're now. That planet also had a world soul, which we just discovered, and the world soul is very weak and small, but not dead.
Cool.
And so I'm wondering if the story is going to wind up that the world soul of Zeresh and the world soul of Azeroth are going to play a part.
Maybe. And aren't those Navi avatar trolls? Like,
yes. So we are getting a new race, and they are like the original trolls, like the troll. All the trolls that we know in Azeroth already basically they've had their own evolution, but the common ancestor are these trolls.
oh, okay. And they were they are directly communing with the Azeroth world soul, although that kind of like petered out and it needs more stories to be told. So we're going to find out what happens there, probably, hopefully a little bit more at Midnight. But yeah, that kind of left off. Azeroth cries out, and she's still crying out, I guess, because we didn't really do much except go. Now we went to Koresh, and Koresh is cried out.
No, that's not correct. We saved her.
Except
what?
Except Xal'atath now is doubly powerful and is
No, but
still
that's
just as
not
much of a threat, right?
that's not because Azeroth is dying.
But wasn't she like sucking wasn't that maybe that's not where the black blood and all of that and the powering up the heart and sucking it out of Azeroth, and that's why she wants to. That's not that. I don't know what that is. Then. Well, then why was Azeroth? What was wrong with Azeroth in the War Within?
She'd been stabbed by a giant sword.
And is that gone? That's still there, right?
like I say, I don't know the whole story, but the black blood and all that is not because of Azeroth.
Oh,
that's because of
stuff,
like
right?
Old God stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know either. So as we said, we might end up doing a lore discussion at some point, but this
Yeah,
is
man,
not
but so
that.
I'm like
for one.
really apologize to anyone listening who actually knows all this stuff.
Well, let us
Give
know.
us, let us
I mean,
know.
I'm the one who knows nothing, and so I don't know. We'll see what. I'm most interested to see what comes next, just from a pacing and a storytelling structure perspective. Is it going to be Is it going to be now like is Xal'atath going to be the big bad of midnight and morning or whatever the third one's going to be called? Did they announce a name for the third one?
Yeah, it has a name.
What is it?
I don't remember what it is. I don't remember.
Winds of Winter, spring, Tales of Spring, a new spring, whatever it is. Yeah. So is it going to just be Xal'atath, or that's what I'm interested to see just from a storytelling perspective. So we'll see. All right, let's wrap it up with two others. Titan something is what Lucy says. Titan.
The Last Titan.
Titan. The Fall of Titan. Titanfall. Titan.
Last Titan.
Loosen.
The Last Titan is what AI overview says.
Loosen the Titans. Titan loosen. Okay. Two last ones that caught our eye, mostly because of other people's reaction, although the Lego Batman one also catches my eye just from what they're presenting. But the one that got many more people excited than I expected was this Bubsy deal. And I kind of learned why. So Bubsy is a series of old school late 1900s games from 97, 96, 97. These games were out. So it's like a bunch of millennials were playing this, and nothing has happened with the Bubsy franchise in 25 years, 30 years now. And finally, now Bubsy 4D is coming out, bringing back all of the Bubsy nostalgia from those Bubsy platformers in the late 90s. And I guess that pressed some buttons for a bunch of people, and a lot of people are excited.
It wasn't like a huge game, but apparently had its own following.
Yeah. So great. So that's cool. And I'm glad people are excited about it. And, we'll see how good of a game it is, but, that's worth it to bring back a franchise that people really liked if you can make a good game out of it. And we'll have to see what it looks like. It looks like a combination endless runner platformer.
So like my platformer days are kind of over, but it kind of does look like it would be a fun one. And also reminded me of there's a party game we've been playing recently called Golf with Friends. Kind of like that, like everything is like a little bit more bizarre than the one before. And you have to kind of figure out how you get from point A to point B, and you get new like moves and new powers. And
I can't tell what's going on in this trailer. It looks to me like you can change the settings of the game to go even more retro. So it's called Bubsy 4D, and they even flip to a settings screen at one point where you can like make it like 16-bit pixelated. Like here, you could go to an upgrade, and there's a Bubsy 3D, less polygons means more aerodynamic platforming, and you pick that one. And he goes back to like a pixelated view, and then so maybe you can like swing back and forth through the retro looks. That's clever. So we'll have to see if that's really part of it.
It does look clever. I wonder if that's going to be on Game Pass. But yeah,
the final one, which we've said this before, every Lego game ever made is quality.
Yeah.
And this seems no different in multiple ways. One, the quality of the graphics and animation and gameplay looks good. It's a Batman game. And two, this is Legacy of the Dark Knight. So it pulls in and draws on. Again, in a 2-minute trailer, it already pushes all of the right buttons for the Dark Knight trilogy. He's got the Heath Ledger Joker in there. Why so serious? He says, "Why so serious?" It's got Bane in there, and Bane, but it's all the tongue in cheek. It's the way the Lego series do it. So it's like Bane is like, "You are."
Yeah, but it's also how do they do it? It's also serious and also kind of creepily scary.
It
So
is,
I
it
they're
is,
so
but then they break
creative.
the tension so quickly that it's so
Yeah.
like Bane, and it focuses on the Bane. You only adopted the darkness. I was born, and then he steps on a Lego. 3 seconds into his menacing speech, he steps on a Lego. And says, oh, who put that there? That could really hurt someone. That hurt my foot. And he holds up the Lego, and he's like, "What is going on here?" Joey, I told you, pick up your Legos. You were merely born to the
That's
Lego.
right.
I was shaped by it, molded by them. So great. It looks like great stuff. And yeah, anytime they come up with a game, it's quality. So I appreciate what they're doing there. So always and every time one of these kinds of things come out, no matter how boring the presentation might be, there's gems that you can find.
Yes.
And
Oh, absolutely.
I think we've found them. So that's cool. A few things I'm
And I
definitely looking forward to. So
I want to give a shout out to Road King, which is the game you could play if you ever wanted to drive a 40-ton truck along the
Yep.
highway and deliver goods.
yeah, you told me some
And-
fascinating things about that game.
Yeah.
They
So you
they take it far. They take it pretty far by the end.
Yeah. Like you start out as a beginner, and I guess you progress by like making your schedules, but you got to like plan your way. And I guess obviously there must be a way to customize your truck or get new things for your truck. And then they did show at the very end of the trailer where he was delivering something to people that were trapped by a storm or something. So you do get like that hero thing going on too. And I think I think it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it's doing its job. Cult
Yeah.
of the Lamb's got a DLC
Yeah, they
coming
got it.
out.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has got DLC coming. Legacy of the
Mhm.
Forge. Inzoi has got DLC coming, which
Yep.
I would expect if they really want to turn that thing around. To catch up, they only need to do like 15 years worth of DLC real quick to catch
Yeah.
up.
I mean,
To catch up
they-
with the
I don't know if they're going to be able to turn things around. They have gotten serious decrease.
Yeah. Right. But this is the kind of thing that can bring people back and build it up over
Yes.
time and turn it into a franchise.
And also
Yeah. So we'll see.
some level of decrease after the flurry of the beginning doesn't necessarily mean failure, but this is a lot of a decrease.
Right. And then you
We'll
pointed
see.
to the art that we saw in Zero Parades that
Yeah.
just looks amazing. Like all this hand-drawn art. That's a highlight. Hollow Knight date confirmation for 2025. That's exciting to a lot of Hollow Knight
Yeah.
fans.
Yep.
Uh,
Silken something.
He-Man,
Yeah.
there's a He-Man game coming out. That's got some people's attention. What was that other one? It was formerly called LLL. What is it called now? It's got a new Cinder City. LLL, Project LLL is now called Cinder City, and that was a sci-fi one that we were afraid it was going to be really microtransaction-y in how it ends up getting presented, but maybe not, and maybe it'll be really cool game. So that was one that caught my eye in the past. That was also a trailer that they showed and is now called Cinder City. So yeah, plenty of good things. Ben Schwartz. More Ben Schwartz. That's our number one feedback for next year. Jeff Keighley, get Ben Schwartz on there. Just give him the reins and let him present the show. And I think he'll be in good shape. All right. Anything else for today, Sema?
Oh, that was a lot. I think we
All right. Garden and a Goat. Get in there. Alpha 2 if
Alpha
you want a
test,
key.
Alpha 2.
Get your Steam key. Get them while they're hot. Got a few more we can give out. And by a few more, pretty much we'll give out a bunch. So we haven't we're not at the point of turning anyone away yet. So I'd be happy to have more people in that Discord channel. So gardenandgoat.com/Discord. And for this show, all the feed and subscribe links are on newoverlords.com, and our video is always up on YouTube /newoverlords. Please come chat with us in our Discord at newoverlords.com/Discord. And you can also follow on all the social media networks, and we will keep you up to date there too. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.